Tuesday, March 3rd. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, Janson Baker has been found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And True Patriot Love will speak with a veteran about an upcoming panel discussion that puts the focus on the leadership and sacrifice of women in the military. That is in our second hour.
Plus, are your pets dealing with cabin fever? We'll look at how to get them out of their funk in Pet Talk. That's a little later this morning. All that and so much more just ahead on the Tuesday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Join us, come on in. We're all ready to go on this Tuesday morning, March 3rd. Super duper cold out there, another chilly day.
Yep.
As Wilson Phillips once said, hold on for one more day. If you just hang on, it's going to get better.
It's funny because that's exactly how I felt 2 years ago when I was pregnant at 36 weeks, waiting to be induced. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks before I had them. Yep. So my boys were born March 4th. That's why I'm saying.
So that is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hold on for one more day.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Time
gosh.
flies, yeah.
Big changes. And tomorrow they turn 2 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Time flies.
The terrible twos. Oh my gosh.
Oh yes, they've been quite cute, but quite terrible.
They are really cute. Oh gosh.
Ready to explore the world.
Yes, absolutely. And what other thing has been kind of terrible has been the weather, like you mentioned. Since we started the work week, at least, it's been quite cold. We are going to see a warm up.
Well, that's what I heard.
Yeah, like you
the little birds. I'm glad that you have confirmed it because that is great. I heard a little bird told me that. He was shivering while he said it. He said, tweet.
Well, you're right. We are going to see that warm up a little bit later on this afternoon, becoming quite seasonal for our daytime highs. And into tomorrow, those temperatures are really jumping up.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, we're looking at 7 and 9 degrees for parts of the Maritime region. Yeah.
It's going to melt all those snowbanks.
This looks, I don't know if they've done professional clearing or what, but the banks are way lower in the shot in Fredericton than they were the last time we showed it.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, okay, so here's Fredericton early this morning. It's actually colder than yesterday morning at -21, not even factoring the breezy wind that we're gonna see, as well as that wind chill. But as of right now, cold right across the region yet again today, even colder for parts of the region today. -14 degrees in Charlottetown with -15 in Halifax, -16 degrees in Sydney, -24 in Labrador City, -11 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill. As you can see here, quite cold start to the day, so make sure to bundle up when you are heading out. We still have a risk of frostbite for parts of Newfoundland and across Labrador. A snow squall watch still remains in effect for parts of Newfoundland. We are going to see this until this afternoon, as well as for our satellite and radar. Lots of sunshine in the forecast yet again, but we do have some flurry activity for parts of the region. But for the most part, seeing sunshine across Atlantic Canada today. Then into our wind. It is going to pick up into the afternoon, especially. As of right now, 22 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 19 in Canso, 15 into Grand Etang and into Sydney. No wind gusts to report at this time. We'll take a look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. And we begin in Moncton, where Janson Baker has been found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. After 5 long days of jury deliberations, the New Brunswick man has been convicted of killing Bernard and Rosemary Saunier. CTV's Derek Haggett was in court for the verdict last night.
The agonizing wait is finally over. After 5 days of deliberations, 8 weeks of trial, and over 6 years since Bernard and Rosemary were murdered, the Saunier family has a verdict. Janson Baker was found guilty Monday night of 2 counts of first-degree murder.
These murders shocked our community and left devastated the family and loved ones of Rosemary and Bernard Saunier.
When the verdict was read, a member of the Saunier family cried out. After the jury was thanked and excused, the family hugged each other and wept. The Sauniers, both in their 70s, shot in the head in their Dieppe home on September 7, 2019. 6+ years later, justice for the family.
The 12 jurors who deliberated and gave their verdicts today have done their duty and applied the law as instructed by Mr. Justice Gunn. We recognize the outstanding and unrelenting police work of the RCMP, their hard work and dedication of their officers, which brought this case to court.
When Baker took the stand during the trial, he looked at the jury and emphatically said he didn't do it. "I am not a killer," he repeatedly told the jury.
Maintains that position. He was forceful in his denial and his not guilty plea. So, like I say, the jury's spoken tonight. We respect it at this stage, and then there's always, there's certainly considerations that have to go forward in terms of an appeal.
Both the Saulnier family and Baker's mother politely declined to speak to the media after the verdict was delivered. Baker is scheduled to be sentenced on May 7th, and victim impact statements from the Saulnier family are expected to be heard. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
A fire in Dartmouth has sent one person to hospital and destroyed a home. Crews were called to a fire on Renfrew Street. They found heavy smoke and fire in the middle unit of this row house last night. The call came in around 5 p.m. and the fire was out within 2 hours. One person was taken to hospital, but there's no word on their condition. Halifax Fire says while the home was destroyed, the houses on either side were saved, but with minor damage. It's been 4 days since the United States and Israel launched attacks on Iran. That war, combined with the subsequent retaliation by the Middle Eastern country, is affecting oil supplies around the globe.
That has led to a real concern about a dwindling ability to supply the world, especially in the Straits of Hormuz, which is a transit way for about 20% of the world's oil.
As a result, pump prices are expected to climb this week. International air travel is also being impacted. Air Canada says in part due to the military situation in the Middle East, all flights to and from Dubai and Tel Aviv are currently suspended and restarting on March 23rd, 2026. If you are in either of these regions, please do not head to the airport. Meantime, the federal government is urging Canadians in the Middle East to register with Global Affairs Canada in order to receive updates about travel advisories. Health PEI says improving access to care is its highest priority amid reports of several family doctors leaving the province. It notes a new physician services agreement includes an extra $188 million in funding. PEI Health says it will create a new advisory panel by the end of the month to hear from primary care providers. It will report back by the end of August. Ontario and Nova Scotia have agreed to let their residents buy alcohol directly from the other's province. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston says his goal is to have free trade countrywide, and this agreement is a stepping stone toward that. Houston says knocking down interprovincial trade barriers is a bit like whack-a-mole, but that direct alcohol sales is a great one to tackle because it's so visible for consumers and producers. Currently, Ontario consumers can only buy alcohol from another province if it is listed by the Liquor Control Board of Ontario through the LCBO's private ordering program, or if they were in another province and bought some bottles home. Finally, the return to service for a Halifax ferry, it has been delayed again. The Vincent Coleman ferry has been out of service since January for repairs. Now, as a result, alternate ferry service was reduced to every half hour for most of the day. The Vincent Coleman was to return at the end of January, then late February, but it's worth noting it is delayed again due to parts now expected back later this month. So if that's part of your daily routine and commute, keep that in mind that those delays continue.
Oh, I'm frustrated. That's my favorite ferry, the Vincent Coleman.
The Vincent Coleman one?
Well, because it has the actual telegraph spelling of Vincent Coleman under.
Oh, yeah,
his name.
that's
the only one that
yes.
has that kind of extra little feature.
And that was the one that came out of the naming contest a few years ago
Exactly.
from
Vincent
the
Coleman,
city.
of course, telegraphed to warn a train not to come, and they saved many lives due to the explosion. Okay, well, here's an update to a story we had on our show a few weeks back.
10? Just 10?
1, 2,
Yeah, they are getting down and giving us 10, but in this case 2,000. Mike Beebe and Justin Thomas took on the push-up challenge for mental health for the second straight year, and that means 2,000 push-ups in 23 days. It's a challenge designed to raise money and awareness for mental health, as 2,000 is the number of lives lost to suicide across the world every day. We were pleased to kick off the challenge on our show before it began in February, and since then more than $4 million has been raised for mental health in Canada through the challenge.
Wow.
So just want to give people an update.
So happy to hear that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, by the wave,
2,000
public gardens.
push-ups. That's a lot of push-ups.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Dartmouth.
push-ups.
The daffodils will be blooming there soon, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you have the daffodils. Oh, amazing. Well done.
Yeah.
All right, still ahead on the show, we're going to have your first look at your national and international news headlines on the Tuesday morning, and Latavia will have details on just how warm it's going to get and when it's going to get that warm. Yeah, but before that, it's cold.
Yeah.
Good morning, Annie Goodnish. You can start to see the sun rise. We've got a time change coming up this weekend as well. Your full forecast is up next.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. The time now is 6:13. We're taking a live look at McAdam, a dark and cold start to your day. Currently minus 23 degrees, so keep that in mind when you are heading out. That is not even factoring in that wind chill as of yet. So right now, quite cold right across Atlantic Canada. Temperatures will rise a little bit later on. But as of right now, we're dealing with minus 22 degrees in Fredericton, minus 14 in Charlottetown and into Halifax. Early this morning, minus 16 degrees in Sydney, minus 19 in Cartwright, minus 18 degrees into St. Anthony. Still holding on to those snow squall watches in effect for parts of Newfoundland until this afternoon. So here's a look at our forecast timeline. As you can see here, we are going to see sunshine for all three maritime provinces today. Sunshine will be sticking around throughout your day today, but temperatures will be quite cold early on, so keep that in mind when you are heading out. But into the afternoon, we are going to see those temperatures warm up. Now, Newfoundland, Labrador still holding on to a bit of flurry activity, and we are going to see that continue into the afternoon. And then into this evening, we have another low pressure system making its way over. It's going to be bringing snow and or rain back around to the maritime region. Temperatures cooling back down tonight, but really warming up into Thursday's forecast. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, we are going to see accumulation from this system, looking at around 1 to 10 centimeters for parts of New Brunswick as well as into Prince Edward Island. Heavies being 10 to 15 centimeters for Truro and Halifax in Nova Scotia, and looking at 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Newfoundland and into Labrador. For our rainfall outlook, only seeing around 2 to 10 millimeters into the western portion of Nova Scotia. So over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. Daytime highs on the plus side today. We are going to see daytime highs between 2 to 5 degrees, being the warmest into Fredericton. Looking at a mix of sun and clouds. Snow arrives into the evening. Wind, though, picking up out of the southwest, 30 gusting to 50 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island highs between 1 to 2 degrees today. Lots of sunshine. We do have snow into the evening. Wind gusts of 60 kilometers per hour. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, daytime highs will range from minus 1 to 3 degrees, being the warmest into Truro. Lots of sunshine for this part of the province, and snow arrives into the evening. For the rest of Nova Scotia, you'll be seeing lots of sunshine as well, with highs between 1 to 3 degrees. Snow and or rain moves in for this part of the province into the evening, and wind gusts of 50. Labrador City, looking at flurries starting off the day that will clear into the afternoon, leaving sunshine, a high of minus 13 degrees, and minus 4 for St. John's, Newfoundland. A mix of sun and clouds starts off the day. Flurries arrive into the afternoon. So into Wednesday's forecast, temperatures really jumping up. So we are going to see a very warm spring-like day ahead, but we do have that mixed precipitation that will track across the maritime region. For Wednesday afternoon, we start to see it clear out for parts of the maritime region, still continuing into Newfoundland and Labrador, seeing that snow. And then into Wednesday night, for the maritime region, pretty clear, just a few clouds return, taking us into Thursday morning. We are going to see a bit of flurry activity return as well, but other than that, temperatures remain quite warm. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. The war in the Middle East is rapidly expanding. Foreign Affairs is urging Canadians to avoid non-essential travel to Iran and several neighboring countries. And stateside, U.S. President Donald Trump and top White House officials have outlined their reasons for attacking Iran. CTV's Joy Malbin has new details on the mission and the motive.
U.S. President Donald Trump is not backing down, claiming a nuclear-armed Iran was an imminent threat. They saw an opening, he said, and took it.
This was our last best chance to strike what we're doing right now and eliminate the intolerable threats posed by this sick and sinister regime.
The president says they've crushed Iran's leadership. Though he campaigned on no more wars, Trump predicted this one will last 4 to 5 weeks, but he's prepared to go even longer. As the war widens across the Middle East, the Pentagon confirmed 3 U.S. fighter jets were shot down in friendly fire by Kuwaiti forces. All 6 crew members are safe. But the Secretary of War insists this will be a short one, and it's not about regime change.
This is not Iraq. This is not endless. This operation is a clear, devastating, decisive mission. Destroy the missile threat, destroy the Navy, no nukes.
General Dan Kane said the U.S. is sending more troops and fighter jets to the region as this war expands. 4 soldiers have been killed in action, more than a dozen seriously wounded. And President Trump has not ruled out boots on the ground.
We expect to take additional losses, and as always, we will work to minimize U.S. losses. But as the Secretary said, this is major combat operations.
With the world already rattled by the fighting, Congress is sharply split. Republicans back the president. Democrats call the war illegal.
They've started this war without permission from the American people or from Congress. We don't go send Americans to fight and bleed without the country having a say.
Lawmakers will get a classified briefing soon on conflicting intelligence over whether Iran was close to attacking the U.S. And they'll put the president's war to a vote in Congress. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
And the conflict in the Middle East is driving up oil and gas prices and threatening to disrupt the global energy supply. Fuel prices have not yet changed here in Atlantic Canada, but that's not the case for other provinces. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more.
Trips to the gas station were a little more expensive than some drivers had expected today.
I mean, gas is, expensive as it is, and then with this war affecting it, I mean, who knows where it'll go.
As a student, this is, it's barely affordable.
Yeah.
It's hard to get to school.
While oil and gas analysts say the current price at the pumps doesn't reflect any damage to refining facilities in Saudi Arabia or the United Arab Emirates, they are bracing.
This is potentially the biggest shock for the oil market since 1990 when Iraq invaded Kuwait.
One of the reasons is the Strait of Hormuz. The narrow waterway south of Iran is one of the most important maritime routes in the world, as about 20 to 30% of global oil and gas passes through the strait. The federal energy minister believes the conflict means countries could be turning to Canadian oil instead.
What our allies have told us over and over again is they want a reliable, a secure, and a sustainable source of energy going forward.
On the flip side, some analysts predict the price of gas will go up by 5 cents on Wednesday, while diesel could jump by as much as 14 cents per liter.
The impact will be, certainly inflationary, and it could have that undesirable effect of maintaining higher interest rates for a much longer period of time.
That's because higher fuel costs will likely be passed on to consumers, meaning everything transported by truck, from apples to zucchini, will end up costing you more. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Thank you, Mike. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll have your top business headlines from our colleagues at BNN Bloomberg, and we'll also have your must-see moment from TSN. That's up next.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Welcome back. It's 6:24 on this Tuesday morning. Time now to check in with our friends at TSN Sports Center for today's must-see moment.
Hello there, Jermaine Franklin with you inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. For that, we'll head to the pitch for this one. Action from La Liga, Real Madrid hosting Getafe. Martin Soriano with the outrageous volley goal, only a second league goal of the season, as Getafe beat Real Madrid on the road for the first time in 18 years as Soriano earns your must-see moment from Monday. And today on TSN, we've got full-day coverage of the 2026 Montana's Brier. It all starts at 1 p.m. Eastern on TSN 1. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
And now over to your business headlines from our colleagues over at BNN.
Oil surged the most in 4 years as the escalating conflict threatens oil supplies in one of the world's key producing regions. The Strait of Hormuz handles as much as 20% of the world's oil shipments. Brent futures topped $80 a barrel, and the surge leaves oil prices up about 30% so far this year. OPEC Plus has agreed to raise quotas next month by 206,000 barrels a day. And here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar was down to 73.13. West Texas Intermediate is up to 72.30. Western Canadian Select also up to end the day to 52.93. And the TSX is also up more than 200 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast, a high of 3 degrees today for New Brunswick. Lots of sunshine across the province. We do have snow arriving into the evening. Then on Wednesday, warming up to 8 degrees with flurries expected throughout your day. And then on Thursday, minus 5 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud with increasing cloudiness and flurries into the evening. Nova Scotia is looking at a high of 1 today. Lots of sunshine across the province. We do have snow and or rain into the evening. Wednesday, 6 degrees is your daytime high. Snow and or rain moves across the province. And then on Thursday, cooling down to minus 2 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud with isolated flurries. For Prince Edward Island, a high of 1 today. Lots of sunshine, evening snow. Snow continues in the forecast for Wednesday with a high of 6 degrees. Cooling back down on Thursday, minus 8 with cloudy skies.
Coming up in this half hour, the Move Morning Chat. Today, we're pinching pennies and talking about the things we no longer buy because they're just too expensive. The conversation just ahead on Your Morning Atlantic.
Hey, good morning. You're going to have to grab another set of layers because we have another cold day out there today. But if you are just tuning in, thank you for joining us. You'll have heard that Latavia, you were talking about how it's going to get warmer actually in a few days.
So today it's going to be seasonal for daytime highs. On the plus side, though, for the maritime region at least. But for tomorrow's forecast, things are looking quite nice.
Woo! Yeah. Melt those dirty snowbanks.
Yes. We will be getting some more snow, though, and some more rain.
Really?
Yes. Snow and or rain for tomorrow. But it's still going to be warm. So it'll still help melt some.
Well, look at this George Street. It's the snowbanks pretty high. They need to go down.
Exactly. We all want them to go down and melt away. So early this morning, it is colder than yesterday morning for St. John's, Newfoundland. As of right now, it is minus 10. Factor in that wind chill, even cooler starting off your day, but you will be seeing sunshine early in the morning before flurry activity moves in. As of right now, colder in Fredericton at minus 22 degrees, minus 14 in both Charlottetown and Halifax, minus 16 degrees early this morning in Sydney, and minus 19 in Cartwright. Over to that wind chill, as you can see here, quite a cold start to the day. Bundle up before heading outdoors, but we will be seeing temperatures rise a little bit later on, but there is that risk of frostbite remaining across Labrador and parts of Newfoundland. A snow squall warning in effect. It will be ending a little bit later this morning for western Newfoundland, and we do have a snow squall watch also in effect. So here's a look at our satellite and radar. A bit of flurry activity, as I mentioned, for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador today. Other than that, seeing lots of sunshine in the forecast, and it's going to be quite a breezy day as well into the afternoon. As of right now, quite light for the Maritime region. 20 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 17 in Canso, 15 in Lunenburg and Grand Etang, and no wind gusts to report at this time. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. We begin in Moncton, where Janson Baker has been found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. After 5 days of jury deliberations and 8 weeks of trial, the New Brunswick man has been convicted of killing Bernard and Rosemary Saunier. When the verdict was read, a member of the Saunier family cried out. After the jury was thanked and excused, the family hugged each other and wept. The Sauniers, both in their 70s, were shot and killed in their Dieppe home September 7th, 2019.
These murders shocked our community and left devastated the family and loved ones of Rosemary and Bernard Saunier.
Maintains that position. He was forceful in his denial and his not guilty plea. So, like I say, the jury's spoken tonight. We respect it at this stage, and then there's always, there's certainly considerations that have to go forward in terms of an appeal.
Baker is scheduled to be sentenced on May 7th, and impact statements from the Saunier family are expected to be heard. The stepfather of 2 missing Nova Scotia children has been arraigned on charges of assault, unlawful confinement, and sexual assault. Daniel Martel was arrested in January. There is a publication ban on any information that would identify the alleged victim. Martel is the stepfather of Lily and Jack Sullivan, who were reported missing from their Pictou County home 10 months ago. Police have said these charges are not related to the children's disappearance. Martel will be back in court at the end of the month for election and plea. A late-night fire in Dartmouth has sent 1 person to hospital and destroyed a home. Crews were called to a fire on Renfrew Street, that's just off Pleasant Street, where they found heavy smoke and fire in the middle unit of this row house. That call came in around 5 last night, and the fire was out within 2 hours. 1 person was taken to hospital, but there's no word on their condition. Halifax Fire says while the home was destroyed, the houses on either side were saved, but with minor damage. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston is in Ontario, signing a deal with that province. Houston and Ontario Premier Doug Ford agreed to allow customers to order alcohol directly from producers without tariffs. It's a first-of-its-kind deal. Both provinces have said they want to remove as many interprovincial trade barriers as possible. That agreement takes effect immediately. Meantime, no one will be raising a glass for this. A jump in the federal tax hike on alcohol is looming. Local brewers say the 2% increase will threaten their industry as businesses already struggle to stay open. CTV's Vanessa Wright has more.
Nine Locks Brewing Company in Dartmouth is celebrating 10 years in business. A successful brewery that may have to raise their prices when a federal alcohol tax hike takes effect on April 1st. Co-owner Danny O'Hearn says the impact will be felt from the bottom line to the consumer.
Any tax hike in our industry is bad for the consumer. You know, we can't continue to raise our prices, but the government continues to raise their prices on us. So it's just not good for business overall.
The so-called alcohol escalator tax automatically increases each year by 2%, affecting beer, wine, and spirits. According to industry estimates, it's already cost taxpayers about $1.6 billion since it went into effect in 2017.
Some estimates have that this increase will cost about $41 million this year alone. So that's a lot of money that's being taken out from local businesses, and it's going to mean less jobs. It's not only bad for the consumers, but it's going to be bad for the people working in these industries.
The Federation wants Ottawa to scrap it before it goes into effect.
When Canadians, one, can't afford it, and two, industry can't afford it either.
Danny O'Hearn says the tax hike does raise concerns about the health of this industry. He says businesses in Nova Scotia specifically are some of the hardest hit.
Nova Scotia's had several breweries closed in the last number of months, and it is concerning.
Two Crows Brewing in Halifax opened the same year as Nine Locks. Instead of celebrating their 10-year anniversary, they shut down 2 weeks ago. The Taxpayers Federation says it's ironic that the tax hike takes effect at the same time that members of Parliament get an increase in their pay. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Dartmouth.
Thank you, Vanessa, for that report.
Yeah, no, beer was mentioned in the report. Beer and meat, a classic combo, but now they're being paired in an unusual way. You're not going to expect this. Researchers in the UK are using leftover yeast from beer brewing to feed bacteria. The end result is a building block that can be used to make lab-grown meat. Beer is meat in this case. Scientists say lab meat made using this method has more chewiness and texture, making it more similar to real meat. It also works, if it works, they say, it'll also help cut down on beer making waste. So unusual. I'd have to see it.
Yeah, some people like to use those flavorings maybe to marinate their meat in.
Yeah. Well, this whole idea of lab-grown meat. You know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Never tasted lab-grown meat. Have you?
No.
No, I didn't know. We can. Anyway.
I know. But I will tell you, when it comes to the price of meat, I know I've been cutting back. That is one of the questions in the Move Morning Chat. Today we're asking, what do you no longer buy because it's just simply too expensive? Have you chosen an alternative? That conversation coming up next after the forecast.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 6:41 in your Tuesday morning. We're taking a live look at Yarmouth. Currently -5 degrees, heading outdoors this morning, so not too bad for starting off your day. You will be seeing that sunshine stick around throughout your day as well. But it is much colder for many parts of Atlantic Canada early this morning. -22 degrees in Fredericton, -14 starting off your day in both Charlottetown and Halifax, -16 degrees in Sydney, -23 over in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Labrador City. -20 in Happy Valley Goose Bay, and -11 in Corner Brook. So over to the watches and warnings currently in effect. We have a snow squall warning in effect. This will be ending a little bit later on for western Newfoundland. We could see up to 5 centimeters within those snow squalls, wind gusts of 70 kilometers per hour, and a snow squall watch still remains ending near noon. We will be seeing up to 5 centimeters as well within those snow squalls, wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour. So here's a look at our forecast timeline. And as you can see here, sunshine for all 3 maritime provinces. Newfoundland, Labrador also going to see some sunshine, but we do have some flurry activity as well starting off your day for parts of Labrador and into parts of Newfoundland. Into the afternoon, much of the same is expected. We will see an increase in flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland. Other than that, into tonight, temperatures cooling back down yet again. We are going to see another low pressure system head our way. It's going to be bringing snow and or rain right across the maritime region. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking at around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island, heaviest being around 10 to 15 centimeters for Halifax and Truro in Nova Scotia, and around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation across Labrador and parts of Newfoundland. In terms of our rainfall outlook into the southwestern region of the province, looking at around 2 to 10 millimeters for Nova Scotia. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. Lots of sunshine and really warm temperatures. Warming up to 2 to 5 degrees today, being the warmest into Fredericton. A mix of sun and cloud. We do have that snow arriving into the evening. A breezy day ahead, though, with wind gusts of 50. For Prince Edward Island, highs between 1 to 2 degrees, being the warmest into Summerside. Lots of sunshine across the island. Snow into the evening. Wind gusts of 60 kilometers per hour expected. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, lots of sunshine for you as well. We do have snow into the evening. Daytime highs between -1 to 3 degrees and wind gusts of 50. For the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at daytime highs between 1 to 3 degrees, lots of sunshine throughout your day today, and we are going to see snow and or rain move in into the evening, wind out of the southwest as well, 30 gusting to 50. For Labrador City, a high of -13 degrees today. Flurries start off the day clear out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon. -4 degrees into St. John's, Newfoundland. A mix of sun and cloud starts off your day, seeing a chance of flurries into the afternoon. So for our forecast on Wednesday, much warmer day ahead, really jumping up for those daytime highs. We are going to still deal with some snow and or rain for parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia into later on Wednesday into the afternoon. That will clear out that system into the evening on Wednesday. Newfoundland, Labrador is still dealing with that mixed precipitation, though. Taking us into Thursday, a cloudier day ahead. A bit of flurry activity will return for parts of the maritime region. Temperatures cooling down just a bit. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll flip things over to the Move Morning Chat.
Peter Harrison and Aaron Hopkins join us now for the Move Morning Chat. If you watch this show or listen to the radio, then you know we constantly talk about the rising price of well, just about everything. Things aren't getting cheaper, so we want to know, what is your limit? What is something that you've just completely stopped buying this year because it has become too expensive? Peter, what's on your list?
Well, the list is long, but I'm going to narrow it down to just one thing that got this conversation started between Aaron and I, and it had to do with travel for the upcoming summer. You're trying to make plans ahead and trying to do it economically. We have family in Montreal. We have family in Toronto. And in the past, we've loved to stay in Airbnbs. They were really, really convenient, and you don't want to overburden anybody that you're coming to visit. But looking at the price of Airbnbs in those two cities, and I'm pretty sure it's all over the place now, it's like, really? I mean, I think I could find a hotel that was less expensive, all to say, no, they're going to have to put up with us. We're staying with our family this summer because the price of Airbnb is just too expensive in 2026.
Oh my gosh, they'll be rolling out the air mattress for you this summer. Okay, mine has to do with food, food delivery. How many times have you thought, you know what, I'm just a little lazy and I just want to order? I mean, there's a million different apps that you can do this on now, right? You think you just order something nice and quick. Gone are the days where you get some food delivered for like an extra $2, $3. Oftentimes you're paying like double the price for a menu item, which you might not even realize, but that's factoring in the delivery cost. When you really go through it, it's like, wow, a lot of money is being, spent on food delivery. So for me, I'm cutting that out in 2026. I'm either walking to get it or I'm not getting it at all.
That's so fair, honestly. For us, in my household, we haven't gone to a restaurant. I've been over here for 5 years. We've never once gone out for dinner.
What?
We've ordered dinner, mind you, but Kyle and I have never went and sat at a restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something that we kind of cut out since we started moving across Canada. Like I said, we'll go grab something to eat and take it to go, but we've never actually sat down at any of the restaurants here.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's expensive. I've actually heard quite a few people, too, cutting out ordering a drink at restaurants as well because that's become too expensive.
Oh, yeah.
For me, one pattern we've changed is the price of ground beef. Whether it's extra lean or medium, it's become so expensive. So spaghetti used to be a regular, inexpensive part of our meal rotation at home. We actually will find ground turkey, ground chicken, ground pork, and we'll use that as a replacement for ground beef. Ground beef used to be so cheap, and it's really hard to find it for a good deal right now. So that's been the big thing for us. Not completely cut out, but we tend to avoid it now than ever before.
You're so right about that. All right, so we're going to pose this question to our viewers now. What is something that has gone way too expensive that you have cut out of your budget? Please let us know. Text us at 10400 and we'll read your answers later in the show.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:51. We're going to head over to Hollywood and take a look at your entertainment headlines.
Stylist Law Roach says Zendaya and Tom Holland have tied the knot. Roach told Access Hollywood at this weekend's Actor Awards, the wedding has already happened. You missed it. The Spider-Man co-stars got engaged last year.
You befriend him so you could gain his trust and then get the girl.
HBO's new Sunday night dramedy is called DTF St. Louis and follows a love triangle that turns deadly. Star David Harbour spoke with ABC Audio about what it was like working with Jason Bateman and Linda Cardellini.
I mean, these are two actors that I've admired for years and years, and I got to do some of the best scenes of my whole career, some of the most intimate work I think I've ever done with these people.
We got a rogue alien on the loose. How do we find it?
Start with a giant fireball?
I love it. Let's start with a giant fireball.
And good news for fans of going fast. The next installment in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise has started filming, according to a post from director Jeff Fowler. And happy birthday, Jessica Biel. The Seventh Heaven actress is 44. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And in case you missed it, a Nova Scotia man has been reunited with his dog, who's actually been missing for 6 months following a serious crash in New Brunswick last summer.
CTV Stephanie Seacos has a story of Harley's long journey home.
Matthew Osborne didn't know if he'd ever see his beloved dog Harley again.
He's back home, so that's all that matters. Hopefully many more years to come.
As a truck driver, his dog kept him company while on the road, but on August 12th, they were in a bad crash in New Brunswick.
I basically tried to turn right to get, because I knew the truck went left, so I turned right to get back to the highway. And by that time, I hit the brakes, and the truck went airborne.
This was his truck before, and this was after. Somehow they both survived, but in the chaos, Harley got away.
Poor boy here, he went through the windshield.
Osborne was in hospital for weeks, and Harley was in the wild.
It's been a long road. You know, for the first few weeks, I couldn't even move from the injuries in the hospital. Went from that to a wheelchair, then to a walker, then to a cane. So I had two great parents taking care of me and looking after trying to get my dog.
As summer turned to fall and then winter set in, Harley was still out there.
They had nights up there. It was in the -30s and very cold, but he didn't give up and neither did we.
Exactly 6 months to the day of the crash, Harley was finally found. Osborne found out first thing the next morning and rushed to pick up his dog. It's a day he will never forget.
The relief and the worry of it all being over, the stress just dropped.
Harley was taken to the vet and essentially got a clean bill of health. Osborne is beyond grateful to have his best friend home.
Big thanks to everybody that helped, and the firefighters, the ambulance, everybody that's helped for me to survive.
While Matthew Osborne still has quite a bit of recovering to do following last summer's crash, he at least now has his dog Harley by his side for support. Stephanie Seacos, CTV News, Brookfield, Nova Scotia.
What a great story. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Happening now in local news, after 5 long days of jury deliberations, Janson Baker has been found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of Bernard and Rosemary Saunier. We'll have the latest from Moncton coming up. Plus, Monday night fire in Dartmouth has sent 1 person to hospital and destroyed a home. And the return to service for a Halifax ferry has been delayed again. The Vincent Coleman ferry has been out of service since January for repairs. We'll tell you more details just ahead and your top news headlines. But first, it is a look at the 3-day forecast with Latavia.
Thanks, Amanda. Starting off in New Brunswick, a warm-up today of 3 degrees. Lots of sunshine across the province. We do have snow into the evening. On Wednesday, flurries continue across the province with a high of 8 degrees and then cools back down Thursday with a high of -5. Bit of sunshine before increasing cloudiness and evening flurries. Nova Scotia is looking at a high of 1 today. Lots of sunshine across the province. We do have evening snow and or rain. Wednesday, mixed precipitation across the province with a high of 6 degrees. And on Thursday, -2. A mix of sun and cloud, isolated flurries for mainland Nova Scotia. For Prince Edward Island, a high of 1. Sunshine across the island, evening snow. Snow continues in Wednesday with a high of 6 degrees. -8 on Thursday with cloudy skies.
It's Tuesday, March 3rd. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, Janson Baker has been found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And leadership and sacrifice. We'll chat with a veteran about an upcoming panel discussion that centers on military life from a female perspective. Those stories and more are coming up in this half hour of Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. It's Tuesday, March 3rd, and it's 7 o'clock. This morning, it is cold.
It is really cold.
But have the lighter layers for tomorrow. Hello, Wednesday.
Hello, March.
Hello, March.
Up, down, all around.
Oh, yeah. The roller coaster of March. March.
March. Very smarchy weather.
Yes, exactly what we're going to see. So very cold today. It will warm up a little bit later on into the afternoon, but still on the cooler side of things. Tomorrow, quite warm, but we do have mixed precipitation returning. So we are going to see a bit of snowfall and rain.
Okay. Well, tell us more, Latavia.
That's all I got. That's it.
That's it. That's a look at your weather.
Yeah, pretty much. As you can see over in Charlottetown, lots of sunshine starting off your day. It is cold, though, minus 14 degrees. That's not factoring in the breezy wind that's going to head your way later into the afternoon, as well as that wind chill we'll take a look at in a second. Minus 14 degrees as well in Halifax, with minus 16 in Sydney, minus 22 over in Fredericton, and minus 18 in St. Anthony, minus 20 in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Here's a look at that wind chill across the region. So temperatures will rise into the afternoon, but starting off quite cold. Keep that in mind when you are heading out early this morning. Make sure to layer up. We do have a risk of frostbite still remaining across Labrador and parts of Newfoundland. A snow squall warning in effect for parts of Newfoundland as well for today, as well as a snow squall watch that is in effect. So here's a look at our satellite and radar. We are going to see a bit of flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. Other than that, sunshine for all three maritime provinces today, and you'll also be seeing some sunshine in parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. In terms of the wind, starting off light, will continue to pick up into the afternoon. As of right now, 20 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 17 in Canso, with 15 in Grand Etang, and as well as into Bathurst and Lunenburg. No wind gusts to report yet again at this time. So we'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. We begin in Moncton. Janson Baker has been found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. After 5 long days of jury deliberations, the New Brunswick man has been convicted of killing Bernard and Rosemary Saunier. CTV's Derek Haggett was in court for the verdict last night.
The agonizing wait is finally over. After 5 days of deliberations, 8 weeks of trial, and over 6 years since Bernard and Rosemary were murdered, the Saunier family has a verdict. Janson Baker was found guilty Monday night of 2 counts of first-degree murder.
These murders shocked our community and left devastated the family and loved ones of Rosemary and Bernard Saunier.
When the verdict was read, a member of the Saunier family cried out. After the jury was thanked and excused, the family hugged each other and wept. The Sauniers, both in their 70s, shot in the head in their Dieppe home on September 7, 2019. 6+ years later, justice for the family.
The 12 jurors who deliberated and gave their verdicts today have done their duty and applied the law as instructed by Mr. Justice Gunn. We recognize the outstanding and unrelenting police work of the RCMP, their hard work and dedication of their officers, which brought this case to court.
When Baker took the stand during the trial, he looked at the jury and emphatically said he didn't do it. "I am not a killer," he repeatedly told the jury.
Maintains that position. He was forceful in his denial and his not guilty plea. So, like I say, the jury spoken tonight. We respect it at this stage, and then there's always, there's certainly considerations that have to go forward in terms of an appeal.
Both the Saunier family and Baker's mother politely declined to speak to the media after the verdict was delivered. Baker is scheduled to be sentenced on May 7th, and victim impact statements from the Saunier family are expected to be heard. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
A fire in Dartmouth has sent 1 person to hospital and destroyed a home. Crews were called to a fire on Renfrew Street, just off Pleasant Street, where they found heavy smoke and fire in the middle unit of this row house. The call came in around 5 last night, and the fire was out within 2 hours. 1 person was taken to hospital, but there's no word on their condition this morning. Halifax Fire says while the home was destroyed, the houses on either side were saved but did sustain minor damage. The return to service for Halifax Ferry has been delayed again. The Vincent Coleman Ferry has been out of service since January for repairs. As a result, Alderney Ferry service was reduced to every half hour for most of the day. The Vincent Coleman was to return at the end of January, then late February, but it's delayed again due to parts now expected back later this month. Health PEI says improving access to care is its highest priority amid reports of several family doctors leaving the province. It notes the new physician services agreement includes an extra $188 million in funding. PEI Health says it will create a new advisory panel by the end of the month to hear from primary care providers. It will report back by the end of August. The closure of a major transportation link in northeast New Brunswick is now less than a month away. The Centennial Bridge in Miramichi will close to all traffic starting April 1st and remain until December. And it will all happen again in 2027. More than 13,000 cars cross the bridge daily. The closure will cause commuting delays.
It will be monitored daily, and the main thing is public safety and making sure that traffic keeps flowing without too many problems.
The city has set up a special website and alert system about the closure. A public information session was held last week. A reminder that this Sunday, daylight saving time will begin in Atlantic Canada, with the clocks moving forward by 1 hour. Now, on the West Coast, the BC government is going ahead with the measure it says will make life easier for residents. The province is adopting permanent daylight saving time.
British Columbia is going to change our clocks just one more time and then never again.
Brought in some kids. Once clocks spring forward by an hour, come this Sunday for daylight saving time. Yeah, it's going to remain that way permanently in BC. Now, with the measure, BC will now be on the same time zone as Yukon and also match Alberta from November to March.
Very exciting.
Some people call for that around here as well in Atlantic Canada.
Talk has been brewing for years.
Oh, it's always a debate.
Somebody finally did it. I just had to laugh because they're just using Daft Punk's One More Time.
I know,
just like,
right?
Just the perfect song for that moment. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe if he had done it in the fall, he would have used Cher's If I Could Turn Back Time.
There you go.
But
perfect.
Not appropriate for the spring.
Why are you organizing these things, Amanda?
Well, maybe in another life. Who knows?
Well, you know what? We could dream.
We could dream.
Being in charge of the picking the songs for these big press conferences. But maybe we can dream even higher and dream of an unforgettable adventure. It's time to talk about a contest right now where you can indulge in the magic of Hong Kong and enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. So the prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to more than 20 amazing attractions. So you can explore vibrant markets, serene temples, indulge in world-class cuisine, and take in, of course, the breathtaking views. Enter online at ctvatlantic.ca. Scan that QR code on your screen if that's the thing you like to do. Either way, enter the contest. And we wish you luck. You've got a chance to win this thing.
Amazing.
So cool. We've got some great contests on the show, just gotta say.
We really do.
Yeah. Yep. All right, easy peasy. Still ahead this half hour, we're going to have a look at your national and international news headlines. And also, it is a look at the Tuesday forecast. It's going to be cold before it gets warm. Here is a live look at the Avenir Center bright and early this morning. Stick around. The forecast with Latavia is up next.
Happy Tuesday and welcome back. The time now is 7:13. We're taking a live look at Corner Brook, minus 11 degrees starting off your day. It is snowing over there as well, so keep that in mind when you are heading out on your commute. You may want to allot some extra time out on the roads. So it is cold right across Atlantic Canada early this morning. Minus 22 degrees starting off your day in Fredericton. Minus 14 in Charlottetown as well as into Halifax and Sydney. Minus 20 degrees in Labrador City and minus 10 starting off your day in St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a snow squall warning in effect for parts of western Newfoundland. A little bit later this morning it will end. But as of right now, seeing 5 centimeters within those snow squalls, wind gusts of 70 kilometers per hour. A snow squall watch also in effect ending near noon. Pretty much the same, but wind gusts will see 50 kilometers per hour. So here's a look at our forecast timeline. Sunny skies for parts of Atlantic Canada, but we do have some flurry activity, some light snowfall with those snow squalls as well for parts of Newfoundland. It's in the afternoon, much of the same. Temperatures start to rise, though, above seasonal and remaining above the freezing mark as well. Into this evening, though, we do have another low pressure system making its way over, bringing rain and or snow back around for the maritime region. This will carry into Wednesday's forecast, but a really warm day ahead on Wednesday. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking at around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for parts of New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and much of Nova Scotia. The heaviest being for Nova Scotia, though, for Truro and Halifax at around 10 to 15 centimeters. 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation expected for parts of both Newfoundland and Labrador. In terms of our rainfall outlook, looking at around 2 to 10 millimeters of precipitation for the southwestern region of Nova Scotia. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, daytime highs between 2 to 5 degrees, being the warmest into Fredericton. Lots of sunshine across the province with a mix of sun and cloud. Snow into the evening, wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, highs between 1 to 2 degrees. We are going to see lots of sunshine for you as well, but we do have snow into the evening. Wind picking up out of the southwest, 30 gusting to 60. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, daytime highs will range from -1 to 3 degrees, being the warmest into Truro. Lots of sunshine throughout your day. Snow arrives into the evening with wind gusts of 50. For the rest of Nova Scotia, pretty much the same. Lots of sunshine throughout your day. Daytime highs will range from 1 to 3 degrees, and we do have snow and or rain moving into the evening with wind gusts of 50. For Labrador City, starting off the day with flurry activity that will clear out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud late into the afternoon. High of -13 degrees. -4 for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and clouds starting off your day, then seeing a chance of flurries into the afternoon. So by Wednesday, early afternoon, we are going to start to see the system clear out parts of the maritime region. For the most part, seeing precipitation still remain for parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. Newfoundland, Labrador still dealing with that snowfall, and then starting to see mixed precipitation move into Newfoundland into the evening. On Thursday's forecast, we are going to see a cloudier day ahead, flurries returning, temperatures slowly cooling back down. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda.
The war in the Middle East is rapidly expanding. Foreign Affairs is urging Canadians to avoid non-essential travel to Iran and several neighboring countries. And stateside, U.S. President Donald Trump and top White House officials have outlined their reasons for attacking Iran. CTV's Joy Malbin has more.
U.S. President Donald Trump is not backing down, claiming a nuclear-armed Iran was an imminent threat. They saw an opening, he said, and took it.
This was our last best chance to strike what we're doing right now and eliminate the intolerable threats posed by this sick and sinister regime.
The president says they've crushed Iran's leadership. Though he campaigned on no more wars, Trump predicted this one will last 4 to 5 weeks, but he's prepared to go even longer. As the war widens across the Middle East, the Pentagon confirmed 3 U.S. fighter jets were shot down in friendly fire by Kuwaiti forces. All 6 crew members are safe. But the Secretary of War insists this will be a short one, and it's not about regime change.
This is not Iraq. This is not endless. This operation is a clear, devastating, decisive mission. Destroy the missile threat, destroy the Navy, no nukes.
General Dan Kane said the U.S. is sending more troops and fighter jets to the region as this war expands. 4 soldiers have been killed in action, more than a dozen seriously wounded. And President Trump has not ruled out boots on the ground.
We expect to take additional losses, and as always, we will work to minimize U.S. losses. But as the Secretary said, this is major combat operations.
With the world already rattled by the fighting, Congress is sharply split. Republicans back the president. Democrats call the war illegal.
They've started this war without permission from the American people or from Congress. We don't go send Americans to fight and bleed without the country having a say.
Lawmakers will get a classified briefing soon on conflicting intelligence over whether Iran was close to attacking the U.S., and they'll put the president's war to a vote in Congress. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington.
And today, the Prime Minister is in Australia for a series of meetings as part of his 9-day trade mission overseas. Yesterday, Mark Carney announced a new partnership with India worth billions. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more.
Prime Ministers Mark Carney and Narendra Modi launch a new phase of the Canada-India relationship, and Carney invited Modi to visit Canada.
There has been more engagement between the Canadian and Indian governments in the last year than there has been in more than 2 decades combined.
We will turn ideas into global solutions.
Announcing 5 memorandums of understanding on energy and AI and 10 commercial deals, including a highly anticipated $2.6 billion deal to sell uranium from Saskatchewan to India.
It's going to be good for the electricity outbuild here in India, as well as good for the economy and good for, in particular, northern Saskatchewan and Canada, I would say, as well.
The pair committed to finalizing a new broad trade deal by the end of the year.
Business loves certainty, and particularly at a time like this where uncertainty is rampant, trade agreements give us some confidence that we can invest in each other's countries.
Carney has not taken any questions since a government official suggested Wednesday India was no longer actively carrying out foreign interference or transnational repression, and canceled the first media availability of the trip today, blaming scheduling. The Foreign Affairs Minister for the first time gave a clearer assessment of the comments.
The words of the senior official are not words that I personally would use. I agree with his comments relating to the guardrails that we have in place.
But the bilateral relationship has become so warm, Canada welcomed Indian government officials, including the High Commissioner, onto the Prime Minister's plane from Mumbai to New Delhi. Carney's office said Modi accepted the invitation, but there's no timeline for a visit to Canada. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, New Delhi.
Thank you, Abigail. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, Crystal will have a conversation with the True Patriot Love Foundation. That's coming up right after this. Please stay with us.
Welcome back at 7:23. Now this week, female veterans and civilians will come together for a panel discussion about leadership and sacrifice from a women's perspective. The Captain Nicola Goddard Women in Leadership series was started 8 years ago to honor the memory of Captain Nicola Goddard, the first Canadian woman soldier to lose her life in a combat role. The Atlantic Canadian event is happening this Thursday at Juno Towers in Halifax. It's organized by True Patriot Love, Canada's foundation that supports veterans, serving members, and their families. Now here to tell us more is veteran Eleanor Taylor. Good morning, Eleanor. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So let's begin with talking about Captain Nicola Goddard's story. It'll mark 20 years this year since she passed away in service.
Yes, and Captain Nicola Goddard was an artillery officer. She served first in Petawawa and then went to Afghanistan, and she was tragically killed in a combat incident. But a little bit about her that our listeners might not know is she went to high school in Antigonish, and her family moved all over places in Canada and Papua New Guinea. She went to high school in Antigonish. She made a deep impact on the people there, and the song Highway of Heroes, written by the Trews from Antigonish, is really about her and her sacrifice.
Well, we certainly haven't forgotten Nicola Goddard. You actually had an opportunity to meet her.
Yes, so Nicola went to the same high school that I went to, and our dads knew each other because they taught together. And I spoke to Nicola before she came to RMC, just as I was leaving RMC, about as she was deciding whether or not to join the military. And Nicola had such a wonderful reputation in service. She was intelligent, kind, compassionate, a great leader. She brought great skills to everything that she did. And it was a real tragedy to lose her, but she also gave us so much through her sacrifice.
Well, her family has given a gift to veterans and their families because they started the Nicola Goddard Foundation, or they entrusted the True Patriot Love to do so. Maybe talk about how that all began.
Yes, so after her death, her family established a fund in her honor, and in 2018 they gave us the privilege of stewarding that fund. That fund specifically meets the needs, is used to meet the needs of women veterans, women serving members, and their families. So services specifically designed to support the impact of service in that community.
So let's talk about the event as part of the Nicola Goddard Women in Leadership series. It's happening in our region. It's the second year it's happened.
Yes.
What's going to happen at that event?
Right, so it's a panel discussion, and it will be moderated by our Deputy Premier, Barbara Adams, who's also responsible for relationships with the military and veteran community. There will be senior serving members and veterans on the panel, and the objective is twofold. One, we're inviting civilian businesses, corporations to come and hear stories of leadership. And one of the outcomes we're hoping for that we get in other locations is improved transition outcomes. So when people see the skills that senior military members or junior military members come out of the military with, they think, hey, I want some of that in my business. So as people are looking for work on the other side, this experience helps employers see the incredible experiences that they bring to the table. And then the other part of the other key objective is, of course, to raise money for the fund, which will then provide services for those who need it.
Okay, we've only got 30 seconds left, but it sounds like an inspiring event.
It is.
You can hear from veterans and women who are currently serving. You can learn about how veterans can be a wonderful asset to your company or organization.
Yes.
And you can raise money for a good cause. So
Yes.
this sounds like, how do we get tickets to this?
So you'll see on your website, there's a link to purchase tickets, or you can go to the True Patriot Love website and look for the Nicola Goddard series, select Halifax, and you can purchase individual tickets or group tickets.
Okay, perfect. Eleanor, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
And this is an opportunity because the events in the Nicola Goddard series have already sold out in other parts of the country, and I know that they are going fast in our region, so you've got a chance to get your tickets if you check out that link. Thanks again. It's 7:27. We'll take a break and be right back after this.
Thanks so much.
Just ahead this half hour, do we have a good forecast for the ski hills around here? Here's a live look at Brookvale, Prince Edward Island. Latavia has the latest look at the forecast, the cold temperatures today and the warm up tomorrow. Just ahead on your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, 7:32 already on this Tuesday, March 3rd. Gosh, time's flying this morning already. I would like to make a new thing. I'm just making this up, and you can join me if you want. Every time we see a bird in the live eye, that's a sign of good luck.
I like that.
We're just going to go with it. I think that was a crow.
Sometimes people say
a good day.
Crows are ominous. We're not going to say that at all.
Yeah, anytime there's a bird.
I don't like crows, but yes.
You don't like the crows?
I don't really like birds.
It might have been a different bird. Oh, you don't like birds?
I love birds. I've owned birds as pets. I don't like a flock of birds.
Sure, I can.
It freaks me out.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
What's
fair.
the name of that classic horror film?
Oh,
The Birds?
Yeah.
The Birds?
I've actually never seen it, but yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't.
I have seen it. It's actually, it's like not as scary as you think. You could handle it, Latavia, given your track record with horror. You can definitely handle it.
You know, like Marv in Home Alone 2?
Oh, yes, with the pigeons.
Attacked by the pigeons. That's me. Yeah,
that is your nightmare.
Oh my gosh. Well, it is 7:33. Weather-wise, it's cold, I'd say.
Yeah, it's very cold, but look at this beautiful sunny start to your day in Iona. Yeah, don't let that sunshine fool you, though. It is crispy outside and right across Atlantic Canada. We are seeing those cold temperatures, minus 22 degrees right now in Fredericton, minus 14 in Charlottetown, as well as into Halifax and Sydney, minus 19 in Labrador City, minus 10 degrees starting off your day in St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill. So it is going to be quite cold early this morning. We do have a risk of frostbite across Labrador and parts of Newfoundland. A snow squall warning also in effect for western Newfoundland, as well as a snow squall watch ending near noon. So here's a look at our satellite and radar. We do have a bit of flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador, also seeing some lighter snowfall for parts of Newfoundland into the Maritime region. Lots of sunshine for all three Maritime provinces, and Newfoundland and Labrador also going to see some sunshine as well. In terms of the wind, it is going to pick up into the afternoon for the Maritime region. As of right now, 24 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 17 into Grand Etang with 15 in Canso, with no wind gusts to report at this time. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. In Moncton, Janson Baker has been found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. After 5 days of jury deliberations and 8 weeks of trial, the New Brunswick man has been convicted of killing Bernard and Rosemarie Saunier. When the verdict was read, a member of the Saunier family cried out. After the jury was thanked and excused, the family hugged each other and wept. The Saulniers, both in their 70s, were shot and killed in their Dieppe home September 7th, 2019.
These murders shocked our community and left devastated the family and loved ones of Rosemarie and Bernard Saulnier.
Maintains that position. He was forceful in his denial and his not guilty plea. So, like I say, the jury's spoken tonight. We respect it at this stage, and then there's always, there's certainly considerations that have to go forward in terms of an appeal.
Baker is scheduled to be sentenced on May 7th, and impact statements from the Saulnier family are expected to be heard. A fire in Dartmouth has sent one person to hospital and destroyed a home. Crews were called to a blaze on Renfrew Street, just off Pleasant Street, and they found heavy smoke and a fire in the middle unit of this row house. The call came in around 5 last night, and the fire was extinguished within 2 hours. One person was taken to hospital, but there's no word on their condition this morning. Halifax Fire says while the home was destroyed, the houses on either side were saved, but they did sustain minor damage. New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt is back in Canada, but not back in New Brunswick. Not just yet. She went from trying to attract investors in India to enticing companies in the mining industry to spend in the province. CTV's Laura Brown has more.
From a 4-day trade mission in India.
It goes both ways. We're attracting Indian investment into New Brunswick, and we're ensuring that New Brunswick companies are doing more business in India.
To meeting with mining companies in Toronto.
I have a full few days of meetings with potential investors promoting New Brunswick's interest in mining so that we can accelerate the economic impact of projects like Sisson Mine and others across our province.
It's all to try and get more money coming into the province because New Brunswick, not unlike the rest of the country, is struggling with financial pressures that the government can't cut its way out of, says a man who knows what it's like to try and balance a provincial budget.
I don't think the Premier needs advice from me, but I would say very simply, as the Obama people did when he won his first election, it's the economy, stupid.
While announcing a new cyber training program at the University of New Brunswick, former Premier Frank McKenna feels the province needs to zero in on growth.
Focus on the economy. All of us feel anxiety right now in this difficult world that we live in. We need to focus on the economy, grow, grow, grow. That'll give us the revenue to pay the taxes, to pay for the services that we need.
Holt unveiled a new mining strategy this afternoon, identifying 77 sites where a variety of deposits are known, from base metals to tungsten, like the Sisson mine near Fredericton, which was designated by the Prime Minister as a possible nation-building project. While the mine has been mostly sitting idle for about a decade, the company behind the mine has said an updated feasibility study should be completed within the next few months. Holt has said that she is meeting with the CEO of that company while she's in Toronto. Laura Brown, CTV News, Fredericton.
And Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston is in Ontario, signing a deal with that province. Houston and Ontario Premier Doug Ford agreed to allow customers to order alcohol directly from producers without tariffs. It's a first-of-its-kind deal. Both provinces have said they want to remove as many interprovincial trade barriers as possible. The agreement takes effect immediately. As millions get ready to celebrate Holi this week, celebrations are already underway in northern India. Hundreds gathered at a temple to recreate a famous Hindu legend. Temple goers set out to recreate the famous legend, a mock battle between the men and women of two ancient villages. People could be seen dancing inside the temple grounds as colored powders rained on them. Really, it just looks like a party. Matt, get out of here. Get out. No, it looks like we had a good time.
Yeah, then what? Yeah, for sure. I love seeing the video of the events happening. Okay, this I love too. Signs of spring. This is very hopeful. Not in our region, but we'll take the hope that comes with this image. Heavy winters can be rough, but sometimes they do pay off. Here are those signs of spring. In southeastern Spain, well, they've had this year, the area saw one of the wettest Januaries on record. The result? These wildflowers have sprung to life. Seeds that had been sitting dormant underground for years are starting to sprout this year. The flowers are attracting tourists and scientists eager to grab samples while they can. A little miracle.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And a spot that, see, that it's almost like Newfoundland, the rock outcroppings and the meadows.
Oh, that's a good point. And this is Spain.
This is Spain. Parts of Cape Breton look like this too, actually, in the summer, not right now.
Yeah, exactly, right? Imagine, remember the days when we wore T-shirts outside.
Those days are coming, Latavia, and this proves it. I think it proves it anyway. I'm taking it. I'm claiming it.
Oh my gosh. Well, we always say, you always say it's like free travel, right? When we get to see these images.
Yeah.
Maybe the cost of living and just about everything nowadays is making you rethink travel. It's kind of on the topic of our Move Morning Chat. So today we want to know, what is something that you've cut back on or you're just not spending your money on anymore because it's become too expensive? So you can send us a text at 10400. Again, that's Move Morning Chat this morning. Something that's gotten too expensive in your life. You're like, I'm going to cut back or cut it out.
I love that. Can I quickly just say what I'm doing? Because I think I've stopped buying, but I've started to use up stuff that I have, like a moisturizer, a face wash, soap, whatever. We don't buy it until it's gone. And I'm telling you, that takes effort.
Oh, yeah, it does. I just started doing this a couple months ago. It does take some effort.
Like, because you're like, I just want a new toothpaste.
Yeah.
No, we're squeezing that tube, people. We are squeezing the tube.
Oh, I've always been a tube squeezer. I'll tell you what, I'm not buying it till it's gone.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to look around my house for the extras till I get another one.
Exactly.
All right, still ahead, Latavia has the latest look at the forecast. Bundle up now, but have different layers ready for tomorrow. Those details are coming up next, plus a rewarding career in our latest Medivie Health Connect. We'll chat with an advanced care paramedic about why the field is a great choice for women. Stay with us. That's coming up.
Good morning. The time now is 7:44. We're taking a live look at Grand Bay Westfield. Starting off quite cold, minus 24 degrees early this morning. Seeing sunshine throughout your day today. It is cold right across the region, something to keep in mind when you are heading out early this morning. As of right now, minus 22 degrees in Fredericton, minus 14 in Charlottetown, Sydney, and Halifax, minus 19 degrees starting off your day in Labrador City, and minus 10 into St. John's, Newfoundland. A snow squall warning remains in effect for western Newfoundland, looking at 5 centimeters within those snow squalls, wind gusts of 70 kilometers per hour, and a snow squall watch ending near noon. So here's a look at our forecast timeline. We are seeing those snow squalls and flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland. Labrador seeing some flurry activity as well starting off your day. For the Maritime region, sunshine will remain throughout your day today. Temperatures will rise above seasonal for parts of the region, but for the most part, remaining seasonal for your daytime highs, but going to remain above the freezing mark for much of the region. Then into tonight, temperatures will cool back down. We do have another low pressure system making its way over to the Maritime region. Snow and or rain starts tonight, will carry into early Wednesday morning. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, look at around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation from tonight until early Wednesday morning for New Brunswick across Prince Edward Island for much of Nova Scotia, the heaviest being for Nova Scotia at around 10 to 15 centimeters for Truro and Halifax, and 1 to 5 centimeters of additional snowfall for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. In terms of the rainfall, look at around 2 to 10 millimeters of precipitation for the southwestern region of Nova Scotia. For New Brunswick today, lots of sunshine in the forecast. We do have snow moving into the evening across the province. Daytime highs ranging from 2 to 5 degrees being the warmest into Fredericton, and wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour expected. And for Prince Edward Island, 1 to 2 degrees for your daytime highs. Sunny skies throughout your day, snow into the evening. Wind picking up out of the southwest, 30 gusting to 60 kilometers per hour. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, pretty much the same. Lots of sunshine throughout your day. Then snow moves into the evening. Daytime highs between -1 to 3 degrees. And for the rest of Nova Scotia, lots of sunshine. And then we'll start to see snow and or rain into this evening. And daytime highs between 1 to 3 degrees. For Labrador City, starting off the day with flurries clearing out, leaving sunshine into the afternoon with a high of -13 degrees. -4 for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and clouds starting off your day, seeing a chance of flurries into the afternoon. Wednesday, temperatures really rising, so it's going to be quite warm for the Maritime region. We do have snow and or rain moving in, and as I mentioned, it's going to start clearing out later into the morning. and into the afternoon for the maritime region. Still holding on to precipitation, though, for much of Nova Scotia and parts of Prince Edward Island. Newfoundland, Labrador holding on to snowfall. Transitioning over to mixed precipitation into Wednesday night for Newfoundland. Labrador still seeing that snowfall, taking us into early Thursday morning. A cloudy day ahead. Temperatures cooling back down, and we do have flurry activity returning for parts of the region. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Medavie Health Connect.
It's time for Medavie Health Connect. And with International Women's Day this week, we're shining a spotlight on women in paramedicine with our partners at Medavie. Women in paramedicine bring strength, empathy, and expertise to every call, and their contributions continue to inspire the next generation of paramedics. Today in our Medavie Health Connect segment, we are pleased to speak with Selena French, an advanced care paramedic and an operations manager with Medavie Health NL. Good morning, Selena.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's our great pleasure. What inspired you to pursue a career as a paramedic?
So I always knew that I wanted to be in a career that I could help people in a true and meaningful way. Becoming a paramedic really just felt like the most direct path for me to do that. Being able to be someone who can show up for someone else in the worst day of their life and be the person that can bring calm, hope, and skill is really what means the most to me. So paramedic just felt like the best path to do that.
Now, as you look back on your career so far, what opportunities have been most meaningful to you?
I've had quite a bit of opportunities in my career. I was a primary care paramedic first when I started working in rural Newfoundland. I then advanced to the advanced care paramedicine, and I got to work in many different roles. The community paramedicine role, the communication center, and work in ground ambulance. I've also got the opportunity to work in leadership as an operations supervisor, and now I'm actually the operations manager for the metro area in St. John's.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it really does seem like your career has evolved since you first started in the field. What do you find most rewarding about being a paramedic, especially as a woman working in this profession?
So it's really rewarding to be able to make such deep connections in the community that you work in, as well as with the colleagues that you work so closely with. Being a woman, it's really empowering that you're able to be a role model for people, not just women, but also for anyone who's looking to take the first steps into paramedicine. So I find that really the best part about the job is just inspiring others to want to help others.
So what excites you most about the future of paramedicine and the new opportunities emerging for women in the field?
So there's lots of advancement in this and opportunities coming for paramedics as a whole. So as we expand the programs into the community paramedicine or into the expanded care models, there's so many opportunities that will come, especially for women in the field. Even with the integration of ambulance services here in Newfoundland and Labrador, you'll see that we're able to be more connected, which means that we're able to be more responsive and provide a level of care to all of the patients of Newfoundland and Labrador, and not just in the main areas like St. John's. So I'm really excited just to see that we're going to be able to expand our scope and provide the care that we really want to be able to provide provincially.
Yeah, I can see how that would be exciting and rewarding. My last question is, for women and girls considering a career in paramedicine, what advice would you offer about the job?
So the career is definitely very challenging, but I really just say that if you have the passion to help people, then this is the career for you. It's really rewarding and very meaningful to just be the person who can, provide that level of hope and stuff. So I say, give it a shot, you can do it, and I hope that I can see people in the future in the career and maybe work alongside of them someday.
Well, Selena, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
That was Selena French, who's an advanced care paramedic with Medavie Health NL, and we put a link to our partners at Medavie on our website.
Thanks, you too. Health and medical news now. Health Canada is being called upon to make labels mandatory for gene-edited pork. It is one of the topics in your health. Forever chemicals, or PFAS, seem to be aging men faster in their 50s and early 60s. That's according to a new study from researchers in China. The study, published in the journal Frontiers in Aging, found an association between PFA exposure and accelerated aging in men between the ages of 50 to 65. PFAS are known as forever chemicals due to the years it takes for them to break down in a person's body. Researchers say the data showed some association in women, but the findings were far more pronounced among middle-aged men. Earlier studies show women appear to eliminate certain PFAS faster than men due to pregnancy, breastfeeding, and menstrual blood loss. Finally, Canada has announced more than $41 million for cancer prevention research. The federal government says the money will go towards supporting over a dozen teams that will work over the next 5 years to develop and share new approaches to support cancer prevention, reduce cancer risk, and improve early detection.
These teams will be led by talented researchers across the country, including 2 right here at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center.
Health Minister Marjorie Michel says cancer prevention research is essential to protecting Canadians, and collaboration makes it possible. Health Canada says 4 in 10 cancer cases could be prevented through modifiable risk factors like diet and exercise and reduced exposure to certain environmental hazards.
We just have one milestone to pass along for you today. It is a 106th birthday for Christina Boyle of Wisconsin, New Brunswick.
Holy moly, 106 years. Congratulations, Christina. That's a huge milestone.
Absolutely. And to see your milestone again or to find out how to submit one, visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen. And a reminder, milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance. Well, as we all know, it's been a very snowy winter, which is good news, I guess, for Parker, the giant snowman.
Yep, the big snow creature got even bigger last week after that nor'easter we had. ABC's Danny New has the story.
If you're driving in Shirley, Massachusetts this week, you might stop and say, surely that's not a 20-foot snowman.
You're the only person who wants more snow.
Yes, that's very likely the truth.
Over the past year, the Alarood family has become famous around New England for its rotund ice behemoth named Parker, whom Eric spends all winter constructing.
So every snowstorm we get this year, I just started piling in that pile there with my snowblower.
His hat is a trash can on a 4-foot piece of plywood. His light-up eyes are screwed in with 2-foot-long pegs so they don't fall. And after that recent blizzard, Eric says Parker now stands at 23 feet high, 25 feet wide, which I estimate to be about 15 Olafs.
I had to upsize the eyes. Like, they were originally like 4 inches round. Now they're 6 for this snowman because they didn't look right.
Actually, Parker's first incarnation came last winter at a puny 15 feet. Around that time, Eric and his wife, Katie, had just welcomed their daughter, Emerson, and Eric was just not prepared for that kind of downtime.
She sleeps a lot when she's younger, and I'm like, oh, you got to do something. So I built a small one out front just for fun. And then everybody driving by loved it, and then I just built them bigger.
Every girl. Well, this year, Emerson gets a much, much bigger snowman to enjoy. In fact, Eric even roped in his identical twin brother, Tim, to come help him out, and not just so they could take the most epic photo in the history of brothers.
We get the head completely built, and then we go down and start carving. And we carve the middle one, and then we carve the bottom one.
It's a lot of work, but Eric says the best part is seeing all of the people come to take photos with Parker, sometimes driving from hours away.
I honestly believe there was a plane circling taking a look at this thing. It went around 3 times.
Well, you can see it.
Yeah. So.
I should clarify, his name is Parker because that's the road they live on. And next year, many people in town want Eric to build Parker a wife and name her Shirley after the town. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
All right, taking a look at our 3-day forecast. 3 degrees is your daytime high today in New Brunswick. Mainly sunny skies with evening snow. On Wednesday, we have flurries that will continue across the province with a high of 8. A -5 degrees on Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud, evening flurries. For Nova Scotia, looking at a high of 1 degree today, lots of sunshine across the province. Into the evening, snow and or rain moves in. On Wednesday, we're looking at snow and or rain continuing across the province with a high of 6 degrees. And -2 on Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud, isolated flurries return for mainland Nova Scotia. For Prince Edward Island, 1 degree today, lots of sunshine, evening snow. Snow continues on Wednesday with a high of 6. Cooling back down Thursday, -8 with cloudy skies.
The #1 morning show in Halifax.
Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Tuesday, March 3rd, today on Your Morning Atlantic, Janson Baker has been found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And cabin fever isn't just for people. We'll chat with the Nova Scotia SPCA about what to do if your pet seems like they're tired of being cooped up. That conversation just ahead in Pet Talk on Your Morning Atlantic.
Hey, good morning, Atlantic Canada. The start of the spring season, just a few short weeks away. We also have the time change happening this weekend. I have to tell you, I already jumped ahead, though, on some spring cleaning.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you have that junk drawer. Do you guys have a junk drawer in your house?
A junk drawer?
Yeah. Okay, good. Good, because it got to the point where we couldn't open it. I said, okay, this is it. This is the moment. I'm going to play some calm music, and I took it out. And I cleaned it. Took about an hour, but it felt fantastic. Oh, and I wish you could see what we're seeing.
An adoptable has entered the building, people.
So cute.
Oh, that's coming up in Pet Talk.
Is it a dog? Is it a cat? Is it an exotic? You'll find out in a moment. Yeah. Now, I'm curious about the mixed bag of weather. You're describing a lot happening in our region over the next little bit.
Yeah, so not only is temperatures cold today, they're going to jump back up into tomorrow's forecast, a very warm day ahead. But yeah, we do have that mixed precipitation, so it is a system that is going to move quite fast. But we are going to see snow and rain because of those temperatures warming up.
That's what March is. It's Mother Nature cleaning out the junk drawer.
Exactly.
A little of this, a little of that, a little this, a little that.
Maybe that's a little extreme considered. I know many people, including myself, born in
March.
Gosh,
no shade on March.
You're right. And then I was like, wait,
only weather-wise. Only weather-wise. I'm just trying to find a way to make sense of how it's up and down.
No, you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
I was on that wagon.
You're on that wagon, but no.
Wait.
Some of Mother Nature's finest work has been created in the month of March. Let me just say that.
Honestly, I'm born in March. Hate the weather. It's so gross.
I'm born in November. Hello.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, May baby over here.
Yeah, you're over there. Your little picnics and roses over here.
Oh yeah, the nice warm weather.
The junk drawer of the seasons.
Oh my gosh. They're just cleaning it out. We got a little snow. We got a little sun. Wind.
Well, pretty much the same as you see here in Gregory. It's definitely a snowy look today. Lots of sunshine throughout your day, but it is quite cold. Keep that in mind when you are heading out. In terms of the temperatures, cold right across Atlantic Canada, minus 22 degrees today in Fredericton, minus 14 in Halifax, Sydney, and Charlottetown, minus 22 in Happy Valley Goose Bay, and minus 10 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill. So that is factoring in early this morning as well. So make sure to layer up before heading outdoors. We still have a risk of frostbite across Labrador and parts of Newfoundland. In terms of the snow squall warning, it remains in effect for parts of western Newfoundland. We do have a snow squall watch as well until this afternoon. In terms of our satellite and radar, we are going to see a bit of flurry activity, snow squalls and light snow for parts of Newfoundland. For the maritime region, sunshine for all 3 maritime provinces, and we'll also see a bit of sunshine for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. In terms of the wind, starting off light for the Maritimes will continue to pick up into the afternoon. As of right now, though, 24 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 17 in Grand Detang with 15 in Canso. No wind gusts to report at this time. So we'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. Janson Baker has been found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. After 5 days of jury deliberations, the New Brunswick man has been convicted of killing Bernard and Rosemary Saunier. CTV's Derek Haggett was in court for the verdict last night.
The agonizing wait is finally over. After 5 days of deliberations, 8 weeks of trial, and over 6 years since Bernard and Rosemary were murdered, the Saunier family has a verdict. Janson Baker was found guilty Monday night of 2 counts of first-degree murder.
These murders shocked our community and left devastated the family and loved ones of Rosemary and Bernard Saunier.
When the verdict was read, a member of the Saunier family cried out. After the jury was thanked and excused, the family hugged each other and wept. The Saulniers, both in their 70s, shot in the head in their Dieppe home on September 7, 2019. 6+ years later, justice for the family.
The 12 jurors who deliberated and gave their verdicts today have done their duty and applied the law as instructed by Mr. Justice Gunn. We recognize the outstanding and unrelenting police work of the RCMP, their hard work and dedication of their officers, which brought this case to court.
When Baker took the stand during the trial, he looked at the jury and emphatically said he didn't do it. "I am not a killer," he repeatedly told the jury.
Maintains that position. He was forceful in his denial and his not guilty plea. So, like I say, the jury's spoken tonight. We respect it at this stage, and then there's always, there's certainly considerations that have to go forward in terms of an appeal.
Both the Saulnier family and Baker's mother politely declined to speak to the media after the verdict was delivered. Baker is scheduled to be sentenced on May 7th, and victim impact statements from the Saulnier family are expected to be heard. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
The stepfather of 2 missing Nova Scotia children has been arraigned on charges of assault, unlawful confinement, and sexual assault. Daniel Martel was arrested in January. There is a publication ban on any information that would identify the alleged victim. Martel is the stepfather of Lily and Jack Sullivan, who were reported missing from their Pictou County home 10 months ago. Police have said these charges are not related to the children's disappearance. Martel will be back in court at the end of the month for election and plea. A fire in Dartmouth has sent 1 person to hospital and destroyed a home. Crews were called to a fire on Renfrew Street, that's just off Pleasant Street, and found heavy smoke and fire in the middle unit of this row house. The call came in around 5 last night, and the fire was out within 2 hours. 1 person was taken to hospital, but there's no word this morning on their condition. Halifax Fire says while the home was destroyed, the houses on either side were saved, but they did sustain minor damage. The return to service for Halifax Ferry has been delayed again. The Vincent Coleman Ferry has been out of service since January for repairs. As a result, Alderney Ferry service was reduced to every half hour for most of the day. The Vincent Coleman was to return at the end of January, then late February, but it's delayed again due to parts. Now expected back later this month. Health PEI says improving access to care is its highest priority amid reports of several family doctors leaving the province. It notes the new physician services agreement includes an extra $188 million in funding. PEI Health says it will create a new advisory panel by the end of the month to hear from primary care providers. It will report back by the end of August. Finally, of all the cities in the world, Paris certainly knows where its bread is buttered. Ooh, that sounds good. So a competition was held. A skilled panel of judges sliced through contenders to find out which baker could rise to the occasion and to determine which baguette is best. Where
did this happen, and where can I go next year to be part of it?
Paris.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, of course.
On the bucket list.
Can you imagine? What a tough job.
Wow.
Oh, I'm a judge for the best baguette in Paris.
My favorite. Just a fresh baguette. Any bread really fresh with some butter on it. Oh, my heavens. My favorite thing.
Delish.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, yay. It's time for this story. This one's for you because it's in Australia, Amanda. I know you're an expert on the region now.
Oh, my gosh.
A mother-daughter diving duo has accidentally discovered the world's largest coral reef there.
Wow.
The record-breaking environmental discovery was made off the coast of Australia by citizen scientists Jan Pope and Sophie Kalkowski-Pope. Now, the two were recently surveying parts of the Great Barrier Reef from their family vessel when they happened upon the sprawling coral colony. So researchers verified and mapped it using underwater measurements at over 40,000 feet, or about the size of 15 tennis courts.
Wow.
So the discovery has come as the Great Barrier Reef has faced some challenges, largely driven by rising ocean temperatures. But scientists are now examining what exactly caused this colossal coral reef to survive and not just thrive. I mean, thrive and not just survive, is what I meant to say. Just too busy looking at the pictures.
That's so cool.
It's really neat.
What a sight to see.
Yeah, also this, the Popes, they have a family vessel. They live off the coast of Australia, and they're living life.
Yeah, they're having a great time.
Yeah, for real. What a dream.
What a dream.
You're like, this is our backyard. Fantastic.
Yeah, so cool. Anyway, that's neat.
All right, well, still ahead, I'll have a look at your national and international news headlines. But first, it is a look at the full forecast with Latavia. We're going to check in Summerside PEI now, see how construction is going on this building. Well, yes, they're doing quite well.
About the same as yesterday.
About the same as yesterday. Maybe some interior work was done.
Sure.
The forecast is next.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada, and welcome back. The time now is 8:13. We're taking a live look at Fredericton, currently minus 19 degrees as you head outdoors. So it is cold early this morning, something to keep in mind when you are heading out. As of right now, it is minus 13 degrees in Charlottetown and in Sydney, minus 12 in Halifax, minus 20 in Happy Valley Goose Bay, and minus 9 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Speaking of Newfoundland, we do have a snow squall warning in effect. A little bit later, it will end this morning, but as of right now, affecting the western region of Newfoundland, looking at around 5 centimeters within those snow squalls, wind gusts of 70 kilometers per hour. A snow squall watch also in effect ending this afternoon, and going to see wind gusts getting up to 50 kilometers per hour. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. As you can see here, sunshine for all 3 maritime provinces. Although it is a very cold start to the day right across Atlantic Canada, sunshine remains in the forecast as well for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. Labrador looking at some flurry activity as we move towards this afternoon, and parts of Newfoundland also going to see some flurry activity, but also some light snow and snow squalls starting to slowly clear out. Into the evening, temperatures cooling back down. We do have another low pressure system making its way over, starting off at around 9 o'clock tonight. We'll start to see into the southwestern region of Nova Scotia, New Brunswick getting that snow and or rain, and will continue to spread right across all 3 maritime provinces into early Wednesday morning. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, we're going to see around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Also going to see around 1 to 5 across Prince Edward Island. Heavies being around 10 to 15 centimeters of accumulation for Kentville, and looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. In terms of our rainfall outlook, looking at around 2 to 10 millimeters of precipitation for the southwestern region of Nova Scotia. Lots of sunshine in the forecast today for New Brunswick. We do have snow arriving into the evening. Highs will range from 1 to 5 degrees and wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, highs between 1 to 2. We are going to see lots of sunshine for you as well. We do have that snow moving in into the evening. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, pretty much the same. Daytime highs will range from minus 1 to 3 degrees, being the warmest into Truro. Lots of sunshine for this part of the province. Snow into the evening with wind gusts of 50. For the rest of Nova Scotia, we are going to see evening snow and or rain move in, with daytime highs between 1 to 3 degrees and lots of sunshine throughout your day. Labrador City looking at a high of minus 13 degrees. We do have flurries starting off your day. That will transition over to a mix of sun and cloud. Minus 4 degrees in St. John's, Newfoundland, starting off the day with sunshine, seeing flurries into the afternoon. So Wednesday is going to be extremely warm for the maritime region. It's going to be quite a lovely day ahead, especially when we start to see this system clear out of parts of the Maritimes into later in the morning, early in the afternoon, looking at snow and or rain still continuing for parts of Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, moving over to Newfoundland, that mixed precipitation, and seeing some snowfall still remain into Labrador for the evening. Thursday's forecast, a cloudier day ahead, holding on to some flurry activity for Newfoundland, Labrador, and into the maritime region, starting to see a low chance of some flurry activity return as well. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. It's been 4 days since the United States and Israel launched attacks on Iran. That war, combined with the subsequent retaliation by the Middle Eastern country, is affecting oil supplies around the globe.
That has led to a real concern about a dwindling ability to supply the world, especially in the Straits of Hormuz, which is a transit way for about 20% of the world's oil.
As a result, pump prices are expected to climb this week. International air travel is also being impacted. Air Canada says in part, due to the military situation in the Middle East, all flights to and from Dubai and Tel Aviv are currently suspended and restarting on March 23rd, 2026. If you are in either of these regions, please do not head to the airport. The federal government is also urging Canadians in the Middle East to register with Global Affairs Canada in order to receive updates about travel advisories. The conflict in the Middle East is driving up oil and gas prices, as mentioned, and threatening to disrupt the global energy supply. Now, while fuel prices have not yet changed in Atlantic Canada, that's not the case for other provinces. CTV's Mike Couture has more.
Trips to the gas station were a little more expensive than some drivers had expected today.
I mean, gas is, expensive as it is, and then with this war affecting it, I mean, who knows where it'll go.
As a student, this is, it's barely affordable.
Yeah.
It's hard to get to school.
While oil and gas analysts say the current price at the pumps doesn't reflect any damage to refining facilities in Saudi Arabia or the United Arab Emirates, they are bracing.
This is potentially the biggest shock for the oil market since 1990 when Iraq invaded Kuwait.
One of the reasons is the Strait of Hormuz. The narrow waterway south of Iran is one of the most important maritime routes in the world, as about 20 to 30% of global oil and gas passes through the strait. The federal energy minister believes the conflict means countries could be turning to Canadian oil instead.
What our allies have told us over and over again is they want a reliable, a secure, and a sustainable source of energy going forward.
On the flip side, some analysts predict the price of gas will go up by 5 cents on Wednesday, while diesel could jump by as much as 14 cents per liter.
The impact will be, certainly inflationary, and it could have that undesirable effect of maintaining higher interest rates for a much longer period of time.
That's because higher fuel costs will likely be passed on to consumers, meaning everything transported by truck, from apples to zucchini, will end up costing you more. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
And Iran is ramping up airstrikes around the region in response to U.S. and Israeli attacks. ABC's Marcus Moore has details.
Overnight, President Trump vowing to retaliate after the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia was hit by Iranian drones. A fire was also reported at the U.S. Embassy in Kuwait. It was in that country where the Pentagon says 6 American service members were killed during an Iranian attack on a tactical operations center. U.S. officials vowing to ramp up attacks. Chaotic scenes playing out across the Middle East. At least 11 countries are now involved in this expanding conflict. The State Department is now urging all Americans to leave the Middle East, quote, due to serious safety risks. But each of the region's airspace is on lockdown. Flight trackers show just how many flights are avoiding the area.
You're fine?
Video circulating online shows a U.S. pilot shot down over Kuwait being approached by locals.
Thank you for helping us.
3 U.S. fighter jets were shot down by friendly fire. All crew members survived after ejecting. The U.S. has now carried out nearly 2,000 strikes in Iran across at least 50 locations. Fighter jets destroyed. Multiple Iranian Navy ships sunk. Iran's Revolutionary Guard headquarters leveled. Overnight, Central Command releasing new video showing U.S. strikes on Iranian ballistic missile launchers. But analysts say Iran still has thousands of missiles in its arsenal. The president not ruling out ground troops in Iran, adding the U.S. is prepared for a prolonged conflict.
Whatever the time is, it's okay, whatever it takes. Right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that.
Another big concern right now is the price of oil. We have seen refineries attacked across the region, and now Iran is vowing to attack any ship that passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Keep in mind, 20% of the world's oil supply passes through that channel. A prolonged disruption could have a major impact on prices. Marcus Moore, ABC News, Doha.
And a quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, it is Pet Talk, and that includes an adorable adoptable. That conversation coming up right after the break. Please stay with us.
Welcome back. It's 8:25. Now, we have all been feeling a little cabin fever lately with these frigid temperatures and weekly snowstorms. But did you know that your pets can feel it too? Here were some tips to help us recognize and manage cabin fever in pets. Is a veterinary assistant and SPCA shelter liaison, Alicia Evandano. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
So you brought in a wonderful dog, just giving me a free foot lick massage.
Yeah.
Who is this?
Yes, so this is Sheba. She's one of our soon-to-be available adoptables at our Dartmouth location. She's 6 years old and absolutely just a ball of love, as you can see this morning.
She really is.
Yep.
She's a big girl, but she's so sweet.
Absolutely. She just wants to spend all her time with her people, snuggled, a dream on a walk. She is recovering right now from an ACL repair, so just needs to take it a little slow, which works well in our winter times where we need to stay inside and take it easy.
So if you're interested in Sheba, you can put an application online, or I think first you come visit her and then.
Yes, yeah. That would
Love
be
it.
perfect.
Okay, she's perfect. She's just a lovely girl. Okay, let's talk about cabin fever. So how do you recognize if your pets are suffering the way we do in wintertime?
Honestly, it is pretty similar to us. If they start getting a little more restless, a lot of that moving, pacing, not able to settle as much, whiny. I find some things sometimes as being a little maybe mischievous.
Okay.
So if there are behaviors that you don't often see that start poking around that don't seem like them, it could just be that busy mind a little bit.
Okay, that's interesting. So then how do we combat it if we recognize it?
So one of the Sheba gets right into your
I
face.
just adopted 2 dogs from the SPCA. I don't have room for another one. But
one of the best things to do, of course, is any type of puzzle toy or mental stimulation. It is always a challenge, but that mental training and really getting their mind working to either, pick through a toy, pick through a puzzle, do some of that training session, that is really worth the while. Oftentimes, we say that 15 to 20 minutes worth of that mental busyness is almost the same equivalent to an hour of outdoor play.
Come on. Really?
Yeah, so it really, again, keeping their thoughts busy is one of the best things that you could do.
Okay, let's talk about cats. We talked about dogs, but would cats be similar? Do they play games too?
Yes, yeah, they can play games, chasing even their kibble or their treats, kind of getting their body moving inside as best as you can, but they do also have quite a few different options for puzzle toys, like snuffle mats where you can kind of hide kibble throughout, and again, it just really gets that extra, excitement to something that they do every day.
Okay, something that someone suggested to me that might make our dogs calm down if they're feeling a little anxious is a lick mat. What is a lick mat?
So it's essentially like a plastic dish or piece of silicone that has a bunch of different grooves and bumps and shapes in it. So again, it just makes them have to work that little extra, think a little bit more on getting in between all the cracks to get the tasty treat, and it just makes that extra difference there.
Perfect. Well, Lisa, is there anything else you want our viewers to know before we go today?
I think it's just, winter is tough. Make sure that you're doing all your safety things for the dogs that do go outside, like your coats, your booties, and things like that. And aside from that, hopefully we can see the spring and sunshine soon, I think. Yeah.
So Sheba, one last thing is there a particular kind of home that she would be best for? Because she's obviously sweet.
We are suggesting, older children just with her size. And as you saw, she really likes to get up and close and personal, even though it's all with love. But aside from that, she can meet some dog friends and see how that goes. So really just an active and loving family would be the best for her.
Alicia, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sheba, thank you so much. If you want additions for the show, we can talk during the break. It's 8:29. We'll take a short break and be right back after this. What a girl.
Still ahead, women and girls in technology. We'll chat with the folks from Hacker Girl, a national charity that wants to close the gender gap in STEM. That's coming up in 15 minutes here on Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 8:32. Sheba was adorable. I hope she finds her forever home.
I know. Just so much love to give.
What a big baby.
She just wanted to get up on your lap.
That was so funny. Yeah. That was adorable. We were all coming over to pet her during the commercial break.
So
she wanted to get on the chair.
She totally wanted to get on the chair. And this is a TV environment, so hot lights, a lot of people in movement.
She didn't bark once.
Nope.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah.
She could teach my dogs a couple of lessons.
One of mine too, I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh. All right. So big news, I think, is the weather. So today's cold, and then tomorrow depending a little something.
Exactly. So we're going to see temperatures really rise tomorrow. It's going to be quite warm, a beautiful day, but we do have mixed precipitation moving in tonight, carrying into early tomorrow morning. But the good thing about the system is, for the most part, what we're seeing is as of tomorrow, late in the morning into the afternoon, we're already starting to see it clear out of much of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Yeah. So it will be quick moving. Here's a look at Samborough, though, as you can see here. Beautiful. Clear skies, sunshine, although quite cold. Just keep that in mind when you are heading out. Factor in that wind chill and that breezy wind we're seeing across the maritime region. It's going to be quite cold for the day. But temperatures will rise a little bit later on, but still going to be on the cooler side of things. Minus 19 degrees as you head outdoors in Fredericton, with minus 13 in Charlottetown and Sydney. Minus 12 degrees in Halifax, minus 18 in Labrador City, and minus 9 in St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill across the maritime region. So quite cold, still remaining early this morning. Temperatures, like I mentioned, will rise a little bit later on, but we do have a risk of frostbite early in the morning across Labrador and parts of Newfoundland. A snow squall warning also remains for this morning for western Newfoundland. We do have a snow squall watch as well that will end near noon. And into our satellite and radar, we are going to see snow squalls and a bit of snowfall for parts of Newfoundland. And then for the remainder of Newfoundland, Labrador, seeing a bit of sunshine, but also a low chance of some flurries returning. For the maritime region, sunny skies for all 3 maritime provinces. In terms of the wind, starting off light for the Maritimes. As of right now, 22 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 20 into Grand Etang, 15 in Halifax and Canso, with only 1 wind gust to notify you of as of right now, getting up to 31 in Grand Etang. We'll take one last look at your long-range forecast, but first, one last look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. In Moncton, Janson Baker has been found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. After 5 days of jury deliberations and 8 weeks of trial, the New Brunswick man has been convicted of killing Bernard and Rosemarie Saunier. When the verdict was read, a member of the Saunier family cried out. After the jury was thanked and excused, the family hugged each other and wept. The Sauniers, both in their 70s, were shot and killed in their Dieppe home September 7th, 2019.
These murders shocked our community and left devastated the family and loved ones of Rosemarie and Bernard Saunier.
Maintains that position. He was forceful in his denial and his not guilty plea. So, like I say, the jury spoken tonight. We respect it at this stage, and then there's always, there's certainly considerations that have to go forward in terms of an appeal.
Baker is scheduled to be sentenced on May 7th, and impact statements from the Saunier family are expected to be heard. The stepfather of 2 missing Nova Scotia children has been arraigned on charges of assault, unlawful confinement, and sexual assault. Daniel Martel was arrested in January. There is a publication ban on any information that would identify the alleged victim. Martel is the stepfather of Lily and Jack Sullivan, who were reported missing from their Pictou County home 10 months ago. Police have said these charges are not related to the children's disappearance. Martel will be back in court at the end of the month for election and plea. A fire in Dartmouth sent 1 person to hospital and destroyed a home. Crews were called to a fire on Renfrew Street, just off Pleasant Street, where they found heavy smoke and fire in the middle unit of this row house. The call came in around 5 last night, and the fire was extinguished within 2 hours. 1 person was taken to hospital, but there's no word on their condition. Halifax Fire says while the home was destroyed, the houses on either side, they were saved, but they did sustain minor damage. The return to service for Halifax Ferry has been delayed again. The Vincent Coleman Ferry has been out of service since January for repairs. As a result, alternate ferry service was reduced to every half hour for most of the day. The Vincent Coleman was to return at the end of January, then late February, but it's now been delayed again until the end of this month due to parts needed. The closure of a major transportation link in northeast New Brunswick is now less than a month away. The Centennial Bridge in Miramichi will close to all traffic starting April 1st and remain until December. And it will all happen again in 2027. More than 13,000 cars cross the bridge daily. The closure will cause some commuting delays.
It will be monitored daily, and the main thing is public safety and making sure that traffic keeps flowing without too many problems.
The city has set up a special website and alert system about the closure. A public information session was also held last week. Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston is in Ontario signing a deal with that province. Houston and Ontario Premier Doug Ford agreed to allow customers to order alcohol directly from producers without tariffs. It's a first of its kind deal. Both provinces have said they want to remove as many interprovincial trade barriers as possible. The agreement takes effect immediately. Finally, an auction for a piece of hockey memorabilia valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars is over. It is one of the jerseys Wayne Gretzky wore during his final NHL game. It was up for grabs. Gretzky played his last game as a member of the New York Rangers against the Pittsburgh Penguins on April 18th, 1999. And the winning bid was more than $500,000 Canadian.
Look at his mom sewed his name in there, too. That's so nice.
Yeah.
So wouldn't be confused with,
with the other kids.
With the other kiddos, you know.
Gosh,
yeah, 99 and 99.
What a keepsake, yeah. Amazing.
I know, yeah.
All right.
Make some fan happy.
For sure. Let's make some viewers happy. A chance to win a contest and a trip to Hong Kong. You can indulge in the magic of this wonderful place by entering a chance to win our trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. So the prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to more than 20 attractions. You can explore all that this wonderful place has to offer. If you enter the contest, you can do that on our website, ctvatlantic.ca, or scan that QR code. We wish you the best of luck, and gosh, what an opportunity. A trip to Hong Kong, that would be something to look forward to.
Absolutely, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a great place. It really is a very exciting city.
Ooh, so much to see. And you could win it.
You can win it.
No cost.
Yeah, so that's happening now online. What else is going on, Latavia?
We'll take a look at the community calendar so you can enjoy Maple, the first taste of spring in Prince William. You can head to King's Landing from Saturday, March 7th until the 15th to partake in New Brunswick's delicious maple history and tradition. There will be sugaring demos, maple candy on the snow, horse and wagon rides, and so much more. For additional information, head over to the website on your screen. And you can come out and enjoy the best of PEI's folk and country artists showcasing their music at the Mill River Shuffle. This sounds so cool. On Wednesday, March 4th at 7 p.m., take in live entertainment, storytelling, and a good old time at the Mill River Resort. So tickets are still available. And Sable Shortbread will host their annual food drive in Windsor. You can bring a donation to drop off at their van and enjoy a complimentary cookie and tea. The food drive takes place Saturday, March 7th from noon until 5 p.m. And it all goes in support of Matthew 25 Windsor and the District Food Bank.
Let me just say, Latavia, you do a great job of finding a nice variety of things going on in our region.
Yes,
Thank you do. And you know what? I love when our viewers send us information as well. So if you have an upcoming event, send us the details, Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca.
So cool. I also love the Mill River Shuffle, not the Mull River Shuffle.
Get all fired up.
All fired up. All right, still ahead, Latavia's got another look at the full forecast and also the work of Hacker Gal. The national charity wants to reduce the gender gap by encouraging more girls and women to pursue careers in STEM. We'll have the details coming up next.
Good morning and welcome back. The time now is 8:44. We're taking a live look at St. John's, Newfoundland. Beautiful sunshine starting off your day. It is cold early this morning, though, -9. Something to keep in mind when you are headed out, and flurries are headed your way. It is quite cold right across Atlantic Canada. As of right now, -19 degrees in Fredericton, -13 in both Charlottetown and Sydney, -12 starting off your day in Halifax, -18 degrees in Labrador City, and -12 in Gander. We do have a snow squall warning that remains in effect, ending a little bit later on for western Newfoundland. We could see up to 5 centimeters within those snow squalls and wind gusts of 70 kilometers per hour. A snow squall watch also in effect ending near noon. We could see as well 5 centimeters within those snow squalls and wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour. So we do have some active weather in the forecast for Newfoundland, Labrador, seeing a bit of flurry activity early in the morning for parts of Newfoundland, a bit of snow squall and Light snowfall expected as well. Into the afternoon, sunshine remains for all 3 maritime provinces. Still seeing some sunshine over in parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. Temperatures will warm up for the most part above the freezing mark for the maritime region, but still a cooler day ahead. And then into tonight, we see temperatures cool back down, and we have another low pressure system headed our way. It's going to be bringing snow and rain back around across all 3 maritime provinces starting around 9 o'clock tonight, and will continue into the early morning hours of Wednesday. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, at around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for parts of New Brunswick. The heaviest being for Nova Scotia at around 10 to 15 centimeters for Kentville, 1 to 5 centimeters across Prince Edward Island. Same thing goes for both Newfoundland and Labrador. If you're wondering about the rainfall, seeing around 2 to 10 millimeters of precipitation for the southwestern region of Nova Scotia. So for today, lots of sunshine across New Brunswick, with highs will range from 1 to 5 degrees being the warmest into Fredericton. Wind out of the southwest, 30 gusting to 50. A mix of sun and cloud today with snow arriving into the evening. Prince Edward Island looking at highs between 1 to 2 degrees. Lots of sunshine today as well. We do have that snow arriving into the evening with wind gusts of 60. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, pretty much the same. Lots of sunshine throughout your day with highs ranging from -1 to 3 degrees being the warmest into Truro. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, you'll be seeing lots of sunshine as well, but we do have snow and or rain moving into this evening with highs between 1 to 3 degrees. For Labrador City, starting off the day with flurry activity, that will clear out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon with a high of -13 degrees. -4 into St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and clouds starting off your day, seeing a chance of flurries into the afternoon. Wednesday, later in the morning into the afternoon, we are going to see the system start to clear out of the maritime region. Mind you, a really, really warm day ahead for Wednesday, especially for the Maritimes. Still holding on to some precipitation for parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. Newfoundland, Labrador still dealing with snow and mixed precipitation, Crystal.
Thank you so much, Atavia. It's 8:47. Now, with International Women's Day this Sunday, it's a perfect time to talk about increasing gender representation in careers in science and technology sectors. You might find this surprising, but in the past 30-plus years, the percentage of women working in STEM has barely changed. Data shows that in 1987, women represented 20% of the STEM workforce, and today they still represent only 23% in Canada. So our next guest is on a mission to change that. We are pleased to welcome Erin Westbrook, the operations lead at HackerGal, a national charity dedicated to closing the gender gap in STEM. Good morning, Erin. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you so much for having us on. We are so excited to be here.
Well, I'm so excited to talk about this. So first of all, for viewers who may not have heard of HackerGal before, tell us a little bit about the organization.
Yes, so we were founded in 2015 by Lucy Ho. She noticed, based on her own experiences, saw the lack of representation specifically within the tech sector. We have 4 core programs. We have our hackathon program, which is specifically for girls and gender diverse learners in grades 6 to 9. We have our ambassador program, which is more 9 to 12. We have our HackerGal Hub, which has all of our free online resources. You can access it. Parents, learners, educators can get on there. And we have our scholarship program as well.
Amazing, so much. And another thing that I found super interesting in preparing for your arrival, Erin, is that STEM has now been advanced to STEAM. You've added the A, so explain that for our viewers.
We have added the A. So STEM, as most of you might know, is science, technology, engineering, and math. STEAM is adding the arts component in it.
Okay.
So science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And so when you think of the intersection between technology and art, you think of graphic design. We actually have a course on that on our HackerGal Hub. You think of maybe architecture using design tools, and you think of fashion in terms of using sketches and bringing them into life.
Well, it's all very exciting, and this is an example of if you sign up for the HackerGal Hub, there are a lot of free resources there. How to code, like actual things that girls, anyone, can access from anywhere if they have an online connection.
Yeah, and we've just started to dip our toes into the AI component as well. So we launched a course right now. It's called AI 101. It's all about the safe use of AI, using the critical thinking skills. So not just using ChatGPT, not just plugging in and doing a task, but more so really critically thinking, looking at biases, sourcing content, and really teaching that early so people understand what they're doing.
Yeah, preparing for leadership in science and technology for sure. That is all free and very easy to access because I was on the Hub yesterday. Let's talk about hackathon. What the heck is that?
So our hackathon is kind of our massive annual event. We have our hackathon coming up this April, so we're all really excited about it. And our hackathon is our annual opportunity for our learners to get together and do a challenge together.
Okay.
So this year our hackathon theme is stories that spark change. Last year our theme was hack the bias in AI. So our learners will get together, they have projects that they'll do, and they have the opportunity to pitch those projects, to submit them on National Pitch Day as well.
Amazing. It's a wonderful opportunity, and I know that you're building out the program in our region. If people wanted to get involved in Hacker Gal, how do they do that?
Yes, absolutely. Great question. Well, if you're an educator watching, if you were a parent watching, please visit our website. You can find so much information there. It is not too late to start a Hacker Gal Club for this year. If you'd like to participate in this year's hackathon, you could email us at hello@hackergal.org and find as much information as you want on there.
Well, Erin, it's been a real pleasure. Thanks for coming in today.
No, thank you so much for having me. It was really a pleasure.
Yeah, real pleasure. Thanks for visiting our region. And we have put all the information about Hacker Gal on our website, so you can check that out. It's 8:51. We'll take a quick break and be right back after this.
Thank you so much.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Hey, welcome back. The last few minutes of the show, and if you missed our Move Morning Chat today, we were asking about what's something that's gotten just way too expensive and you've had to really limit it in your budget, cut it out. A lot of you have the same responses. So this is funny. We'll start with this one. Leanne from Shubenacadie. We cut out anything that's not on sale except beer. My dad always said they can raise that price all they want, but they'll never raise it to what it's worth.
That's great, Leanne.
That's so cute. Okay, this is where we get into a bit of a theme too. Okay, I started in 2025, but I'm continuing this year cutting out potato chips. They're so expensive. I know I don't need to buy them and now refuse to do so. My only exception is when Jean Couteau puts their selection brand of chips on for $1 each, and then I buy at least 10.
Yeah, that's fair.
Buck a bag.
The chip bags are now filled with air.
I know, shrinkflation. All right, this is the theme. Michelle, Halifax, Sunday roast beef. Used to be a regular thing, a couple times a month on average. Now it's a special request, perhaps for a birthday dinner, or so maybe twice a year. And Michelle is not alone. Mo from Bathurst, a cheap roast used to be cheap, but now we have cut it out unless we get it during a good sale.
Yep.
And in all caps, roast beef, says Donna from Halifax. So you are not alone. I find the price of beef very expensive. Yeah. Nancy from Paradise, Nova Scotia said, I say that one way to save money would be to grudgingly give up haircuts. I haven't had one since 2018. Just chop away at bangs myself. Yes, I look like a Muppet, but by the time I fuel up and pay for their good services, I've spent a month's worth of groceries.
Wow. Yeah. This is the thing, people making choices and trade-offs these days.
Absolutely.
It's true. And Mike from New Edinburgh said I had to cut back on eating out because of higher prices, especially for locally supplied foods, which is puzzling. Way more economical to buy local products from farms and fishers, making our own meals and picnicking instead of buying at eateries. Would love to support them, but out of my budget right now. Food. So food is a real big one for a lot of people.
It's pricey these days. I haven't gotten my hair cut by a professional in 6 years.
Really? You do a great job.
My own hair, yep, and I grew it all myself.
You also do a great job cutting your hair too.
I try.
And styling it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think gosh, we've only got about 15 seconds left before we have to part ways for the day. But I think in general, we're all just, it goes across the board, regardless of walk of life. Everybody's making changes to meet these economic challenges that we face these days.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Pivoting.
Yeah. But there's still brightness, you know?
And we're glad you have cable.
Yeah, exactly. Or, you know, watch this on Crave. In any case, it's 8:57 now. We're going to take a lengthy break and see you again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.